The innovative approach for climate resilience that I have chosen for the week comes from the Sahel region of Northern Africa. As we know, Northern Africa is one of the regions on this planet that is hardest hit by climate change. It intersects with weak governance and limited resources, which leaves communities, especially women, especially vulnerable. And as these weather related events intensify, natural resources such as water and timber and farmland are rapidly degrading. This continues to fuel regional conflict, competition over resources, but it also deepens existing gender inequalities, which then sidelines women and their needs and their voices. Which is why I am excited to have discovered Genre Plus that has been led out by Care International. It has taken place for the last 3 years in this area of Mali, in the Ségou region. And what makes it so innovative is multifaceted. For one thing, they work closely with local councils, religious leaders, grassroots organizations to build long-term relationships and locally driven solutions. They are innovative in that they also actively challenge social and cultural norms that typically exclude women from leadership and decision-making powers. They also don't just hand out Western handouts. They engage in focusing on radically changing the foundation of who holds power over these resources. What impact does Genre Plus have on climate affected communities? There are some very remarkable impacts that they've had. For one thing, in the Ségou region alone, 16 women have been appointed to new leadership roles. Women's confidence to negotiate has increased. There have been gender equal attitudes amongst boys and men. One other of the impacts has been that communities are now better equipped to adapt to the impacts of climate change. For instance, 69% of respondents reported that they have adopted practices to protect their livelihoods from climate shocks. These include planting improved seeds, sustainable farming techniques like crop diversification. There have been reforestation initiatives. There has been creation of new animal passages, an increase in women's market garden areas, which has resulted in over 3,000 women being able to now sell or consume their own produce. Other changes have been that communities have reported better access to food. Conflict over land and water has dropped dramatically, going from 60% down to 22%. Some of the potential drawbacks or challenges, of course, is that like any radical change, there needs to be long-term buy-in and trust from the communities, especially when gender norms specifically have been deeply entrenched. That takes time. This initiative has only been in practice for about 3 years, but the impact speaks for itself. And imagine if this initiative continues on for a decade or two. One of the other challenges or drawbacks with this is that Genre Plus does require the long-term presence of an NGO like Care International, which can be hard to maintain in this particular region given its political fragility and its conflict-prone areas. One other drawback is that this approach does require a little bit of coordination. Again, it's working and embedding itself into local communities. It's not really a plug in and play model. It has to be somewhat coordinated and adapted to every local community's needs. But this program can be scaled to reach more people. It is already a model for the Sahel region, and here's another way that it could grow. By partnering with regional bodies like the African Union or ECOWAS, it could bring its benefits and its impact to other fragile countries such as Burkina Faso and also Niger. There could be mobile training tools used for women that live in remote villages, that these women could use their mobile training in order to access leadership tools and tips, and also different climate adaptation practices. But all in all, this initiative really shows the impact of what happens when you put women at the table, what happens when they're given an opportunity to lead and to be a part of the locally led out solutions. There are significant impacts. The communities fare better, and women, as they are raising children in the home, are able to provide a more secure livelihood for themselves and for their families. Thank you for watching.